to Brandon 1080. My name is Greg Norman. We've got a very interesting show today. The holidays are upon us. We're past Halloween. We're going to talk about the Community Christmas Toy Store with Janet Kurnat. Got that right, and I'm going to make sure I say this right. Linda Ryan.
Correct.
And Linda is first timer with this interview, but Janet, you and I have had taking it their third year talking about
I think it is.
the Christmas Toy Story, so certainly welcome back.
Thank you.
We've had some unbelievable interviews with you and all the work that you've done. Obviously, you get a deserved pat on the back, so there's certainly something pretty terrific.
I try.
Just briefly, you're still involved with the toy store.
Yes.
Why?
Because there's still a need, and I will do it as long as I can, and there is a need for it to be done. Somebody needs to do it. We need to make sure that all children have toys for Christmas.
I always think of the Jerry Lewis line that says, my best time in my life will be when they put me out of business raising money for Muscular Dystrophy.
That's true.
He wants to get fired from that job, which is probably really true.
Right.
I guess let's start from the beginning and make it simple. What is, first of all, the Community Toy Store, Christmas Toy Store?
Well, it's an organization. It started out many years. It was like part of Toys for Tots, and it was something that the Brandon Fire Department actually started 20, 30 odd years ago. And I actually got involved when it was part of that grouping, and I was just one of the people that handed out toys. And then eventually the OSEFT mission statement was changed that they could only do items that were necessary, food, clothing, that sort of thing. And toys were not deemed necessary items.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, a child without a toy is, to me, is unbelievable.
At least that time of year.
Yeah, at Christmas, yes. And so we started, those of us who had been involved for a number of years, we created the Community Toys Christmas Toy Store, and we started it, and then we became a 501c3, which means that we're a nonprofit organization, and any donations that people give are tax deductible on their income taxes. Not all organizations meet that. You have to have some criteria. So we created it, and the fire department still works with us, and they support us. I can't even begin to give you the words of how much support they give, as Linda will say. They're always there for us. But that is how we got started. And when I first started, there were only maybe 50 kids that needed it. And we went from 0 to 18 years old. And there were maybe 50 kids. Last year it was over 250 children. And we only go between 0 and 12.
My question then would be, is the criteria changed? And my point is, do we have kids, more kids without? Or is the criteria changed to include more kids without?
The criteria really hasn't changed.
Okay.
It's basically, the rule is that they have to meet the federal guidelines, which deals with economics and that sort of thing. They have to be certified in order to be part of the toy store. The only change, and I'm not even sure this is a change, is that they must reside, their parents must reside within the Brandon School District. Okay. In other words, we cannot give toys to children who live in Pontiac or that, unless Pontiac, their address might be Pontiac, right, but they live in the school district. For example, we have people who mailing address is Holly, Goodrich, Clarkston, but they're part of the Brandon School District. So if people reside within the school district, they meet the financial criteria, they can come to the toy store.
School boundaries rarely match governmental boundaries.
Correct.
For all kinds of reasons.
Yes.
Geography for...
I remember the first time when I started teaching in Brandon, which was 1968, and the first thing that they did for all new teachers is they made us get on a bus, and they drove us around the school district, the entire school district, and we had to ride a bus. And that's when I learned how big Brandon School District was. Because I'm riding this bus and I'm thinking, are we ever going to get off these bumpy back roads we still have the bumpy back roads.
Since we've got a new face, I want to ask Linda a little bit about, before we get into the operational aspects of things, your involvement in this organization and why you're here today.
Well, it's so simple. I'm like Jan. I want the memories to be there for each child. No child should wake up to an empty tree. I had wonderful memories, and I want the children to have wonderful memories, and that's why I really work hard on this organization to help that happen.
How long have you been with this organization?
This will be my 4th Christmas.
Okay. So you're kind of moving up, taking more of a leadership role this year.
That's why I'm here today, I think. Yes, I'm more involved. I do a lot of work, everything, but as far as the business end and things like that, I leave that up to that.
Well, let me start with, you mentioned people have to be certified. So let's talk about the fact that if you're a parent who might be struggling, there's no stigma to this.
No, none.
Linda, maybe explain how somebody becomes certified so that they can get some assistance.
Well, I think the first step would be to call OSEP and talk to Karen Milligan, because that's the first step. You have to qualify first. And then once you're qualified, you pay attention to the dates and have your paperwork ready, because in November you register for the food in November and the toys at the same time. But you don't have to have food. You can have just the toys, but you still have to qualify.
And from an acronym standpoint, so everybody's clear, OSEF stands for Ortonville Emergency
I'm not.
OSEP.
Community Fund.
I think it's Ortonville Community
Emergency.
Emergency.
Yeah,
Fund.
that's okay.
I think is what it is.
It's our go-to place when
Yes.
Yes, at St. Anne's Church.
through the church process. So
Yes.
OSEP's a very important organization in this community because they do so much work. You guys are sort of seasonal for obvious reasons. You wouldn't wear that for the 4th of July.
I shouldn't be wearing it
Yes, she
today.
did wear it. She did wear it on the 4th of July one year when we had Christmas in July.
None of this, I'm sorry.
We had a fundraiser and she wore that Christmas in July.
I was hot.
Well,
like,
Christmas in July, that would make sense.
Like I am today. I
You
was
wouldn't wear it for Memorial Day. How about that?
No.
And we were saying before the interview, not that, I guess we're digressing and stuff, you'd never see a man wear one of those. That doesn't matter.
Well, that's because not all men have good taste.
That's right. If it wasn't for bad taste, we had no taste. That's the old joke with that one.
Exactly.
All right, so you're involved, you obviously are helping, you've been around, so you understand the mission statement. Obviously, somebody's going to be involved with. When does the work begin? Because this is not something that you all of a sudden, I mean, you guys have been planning for a while, and now we're kind of opening up the door to let people know where they can get help.
Right.
What the limitations are as far as their opportunities to qualify, more importantly, when they can get some assistance for their kids. So when does the work start for you guys?
Well, for me personally and another member, we shop for toys for kids all year round.
Really?
Yes, we
In
do
sales?
sales and discounts, anything we can get. So it never stops for us.
The official line would be that normally most of the work takes place from October through January.
Right.
Those are
Okay.
that seems to be when the majority of the time is done, because we start to gear up in October, and then in November we are doing the sign-ups, and then in December we actually have the toy store. And it's not just a one-day process. You have to understand, in order to do the toy store, people are donating. The boxes will be going out within the next 2 weeks, the boxes in cash jars. And then as they come in, the 2 days prior to the toy store, and the toy store is held at St. Anne's, but the 2 days before, we're sorting toys by age, by sex. We're putting the tables up, and then we have to count all of the toys. And when we say count, that means we literally count toy 1, 2, 3, because we try to make sure that all of the children, we have kind of a balance. A lot of people give toys for children that are 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are very easy age groups to buy for. And so we could conceivably end up with having enough toys to give each child in that age range 10 toys. You know, they wouldn't be big toys, but they would be, you know, they could
Something
be.
open.
Yes, something to open. Whereas the 11 and 12-year-olds, people go, oh, what do I give an 11-year-old? What do I give a 12-year-old? So for those people, for those children, we tend to have to go out, we count what's there, and then we figure out how much do we have to go buy. And this is what we use the money that's donated.
Okay.
We have people who donate, organizations and personal donations, and we go out and shop the night before the toy store, and we might buy 75 gifts for girls 6 through 8 or 8 through 12.
Well, let me ask Linda, you've done some of the shopping. What do you buy for a teenage boy or a teenage girl?
Oh my gosh. Watches from,
Some more practice.
Yeah, watches because they like that. It's the name brand Bass Pro, things like that. And they really like electronics, and we've saturated the market with MP3 players. We won't be buying those this year. And sports, gosh, they're so hard to buy for it. But this year we're going to start some gift cards because we're at a loss.
I've learned something in this interview. I didn't know that Bass Pro makes watches.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they do. Have their name on the watch, yes.
Okay.
And
I didn't hunt a fish, boy. No, I'm kidding.
So, we're always looking for ideas, and we always ask people, because those are the most expensive gifts, we're asking for help with that age group.
We typically, I'm a volunteer, I'm a donator, I want to donate something. If I'm donating a gift, it should be, what value, what ballpark value are you looking at?
We tend to, because we have a table that is what we call a stocking stuffer table.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where things that are a couple of dollars, you know.
5 and below.
Yeah, under 5. And then we generally make sure that each child gets at least 3 gifts. One that's kind of a medium price, which would be between 5 and 10 if you were to buy it. One that's more 15 to 20, and then one that's maybe about 25. So that they get 3 different levels of gifts.
250 kids, your numbers, you got to be talking in the tens of thousands of dollars of what you're raising.
Yes.
Is that fair?
I have to tell you,
It's a lot of money.
you have no idea how generous this
We're able to do it.
That's amazing. You start
is.
thinking about the dollars.
Yeah, this community donates, I mean, and they are so generous that I just sit back, and I mean, I would name some organizations, because we have people that actually do things. We have people who, we try and give each child mittens or gloves or a hat. We have women who do nothing but knit all year long. We have a group of women who make pillowcases, because we try to give every child a new pillow and a pillowcase.
Oh, if you could knit a Bass Pro watch band, that'd be fabulous. Tony, if you could pan over, Tony behind the camera today, if you could pan over, talk a little bit about the Christmas tree that you brought in today.
It's a Christmas tree.
Just decorations?
Yes,
It's
yes.
no part of the program.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's just a prop.
I know, okay, well, then we'll come back to this. Sometimes you brought props in before that were actually things people could buy.
Oh, no.
That's what I was
This
asking.
is just a prop.
Okay, it's a really cool Christmas tree.
Yeah, I know. It's very
And
old.
Coupled with the sweater, and you notice we have a jingle Christmas over underneath there, and Noel up on the.
Oh.
So we're getting ready, not because we're free Christmas, it's that we never put it away from last year, which is a whole nother setup from that standpoint.
Oh, my.
My snowman has been out for 3 years.
What don't I know about your organization? I'm a community member watching this interview. I've heard of the toy store. You know, it's one of those things. Everybody gets tugged to pull and help at Christmas time.
Right.
All kinds of organizations. Why yours? And maybe specifically, tell me something I don't know about your organization.
Gosh.
I think that the one thing that you might not know that makes our toy store different than, let's say, Toys for Tots, which is what the Marine people, number one, our children walk out with a complete Christmas.
Stop. What's wrong?
I'm hurting, and we're getting I can't focus on one of you because you're sideways. So if you're gonna talk about that,
Talk to you.
kind of talk to me too. Keep turning your head back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll come back.
Look at you.
No, that's fine, I'll just come back with the same question. Ready? Okay. Everybody gets tugged at Christmas from all kinds of organizations. You had mentioned earlier Toys for Tots. Tell me something about your program. If I'm sitting at home, why would it be your program? And maybe tell me something I don't understand about your program, or I'm not aware of your program.
Okay, the biggest difference, I think, is that unlike Toys for Tots, and I'm certainly not trying to put them
No,
down.
not at all, just
But-
the difference.
The major difference is that they only get, I believe, like one toy per child, and I think it's wrapped. I don't even think the parents have an access to know exactly what
they're getting. Right.
Whereas when they come into the toy store, they can look at all of the toys, they're all displayed on the tables. And we can say to the child, or to the parent, what does your child like? Is he into sports? Is he into science? Is he into
little more
music?
Right.
We personalize it, and then
Right.
we try and let the parent pick gifts that are appropriate for their child's interest. So that's a major difference. Plus, the second major difference is that when when they walk out, they have a complete Christmas. We have stocking stuffers, every child gets a book, a game, they get the pillow, as I said.
Batteries.
They get
wrapping
batteries for their
paper.
toys, we give them wrapping paper, so that they walk out, and these parents who, how do you decide, there's no option. Do I pay my rent or do I buy Christmas paper? Parents have to keep their child alive.
I'm busting with this question, I just thought of this, do the kids know where the gifts come from? They just assume they come from
Correct.
Santa.
Santa.
Yes.
Okay. Which
I
is
mean-
even, if you think about it, is even cooler, because
Keeps the magic alive.
well, it does that, it also, it leaves the family in a place where they don't feel like they're, not, shame's not the word, but
No.
maybe.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable. It's just, it's a very natural process at the family level, when we
Right.
finally get to that point.
Right.
We even.
Which is, from a kid's standpoint, it's gotta be fantastic,
Sure.
because they don't know the difference.
Well, and we even do something like this, when the parents come in and sign up on for the Thanksgiving food, they often bring their children as they're going through the line, especially if they've got littler, smaller children. And what we will do is we will say, why don't you, we have somebody, and take them out in another room while we're signing and explaining the Christmas toy store. We don't even want the child
Right.
there. We don't want the child to realize that mom is going to be able to come back
Well,
to the toy store, because we do want to keep Santa
I
alive.
mention it because I think the facet of maybe the older children, that becomes much more important than to a little more naive 7 or 8-year-old,
Right.
6-year-old.
Right, in a different way.
16 or 17-year-olds has got enough reason in their brains to know that
Right.
there's, things at home aren't what they would like them to be, and now there's some help. So it keeps everybody in the right place, which is, I think, that's what I was looking for. What was different this year with this interview, but this is kind of it. To me, it's like, we know what it is, but the idea of where you're carrying it is really pretty terrific.
It was kind of interesting. I had a parent who said to me this year that, and we generally have Santa come during the toy store, and he walks around and does that.
All that guy, but.
Yeah, but he has white hair and a white beard. But she said to me that every year she gets her picture taken with Santa, and when she goes home, she'll say to her kids, "I saw Santa today, and he wanted to know if you were behaving." And she said, "I make sure." So the kid is going, "Oh, did you tell Santa I did this, this, and this?" Yes, and he thinks you'll probably get a present this year. So, I mean, she carries it on.
Not that this has anything to do with it, but did you get gifts that are either inappropriate, not inappropriate, but you get gifts that you go, what are we going to do with this, and maybe they don't make the table? Does that ever happen?
That's kind of rare.
Yeah, I was going to say, generally not. If we have something that was, and I'm trying to think of something that's really inappropriate, we probably would put it on like the stocking stuffer table, and that way parents, it's
Make
not,
their decision.
they can make their decision if they want that particular object in their home.
I asked the question because my uncle was a freight traffic manager for a large company. And we used to get presents when we would visit them at Christmas, was whatever gifts that the salespeople would give them. So one year I might get a case of duct tape, or I might get a case of spoons, or swizzle sticks.
But
And
they
you-
make a lot out of duct
you-
tape,
you-
so.
But you drive all the way, everybody's getting presents, and you open up the box, and there's a box of swizzle sticks, and you're like 9 years old, you're not sure what to do with swizzle sticks, right? So I say that, so you want to get an appropriate gift, is I guess trying to get to the point.
And brand new.
And if you're not sure, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, you've got the numbers and the dates. So as you're looking at the screen, the toy store is going to be located, first of all, where?
At St. Anne's Church.
Okay, which is located right on M15. We'll put the address
Correct.
up. Your hours are going to be starting when and when?
Oh, gosh.
Have you got that there?
The setup hours are the Thursday and Friday, so it would be the 10th and the 11th.
Of December?
Of December, and that is when we collect all the toy boxes that have been out in the community. We bring in the toys, we sort, we count. On Friday, again, the toy store people are there setting up their tables usually so that they know what gifts they have. Because we do keep certain gifts. The toy store starts at, is it 8 or 8?
I think it's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, and we bring in 7 parents every 15 minutes.
I'm saying this because we're, roughly a month away, so
I know.
time moves
Right.
fast, Thanksgiving's in there,
Oh, yes.
and we're back to helping out.
Yes, so, but we bring in, but we don't want all the big gifts on the table at 7:50 or at 8 o'clock, because we have people that are coming in at 11. So we have to, we try.
Spread it out.
Spread it out so
Right.
that all parents have an equal ability to
Okay.
draw. And then it goes every 15 minutes, we have a new group of people, or sometimes we fall behind because one parent may take longer to shop.
To pick.
If you have one child to pick out for, or you have 4 kids to pick out
Or
for.
11.
Or 11 kids to pick out
That's
for.
happened.
Wow.
You have to look at how long is that parent going to be in there.
Sure.
And every parent is always escorted by somebody with a shopping cart who takes them to the appropriate tables, who helps to kind of keep them going.
Your process. The way you guys operate, it's your process.
Yes.
Process.
Someplace on the screen, let's be clear that there is a
Okay.
CTS.org.
which you can see on the screen somewhere here. And then give us a phone number, which is also on the screen.
Okay, it's 248-795-5281.
And that's a phone number they can call business hours
Yes.
if they have questions.
Yes, if they have
Business
questions.
hours.
Business
If
hours.
they have questions.
Yes.
And
So-
somebody will get back with them. And if you have a larger toy that you want to donate, for example, like a bicycle or something like that, if you call that number, somebody from the committee will actually come and pick it up, or will arrange to meet you to pick up that toy.
If it's a very, very nice bicycle, we'd be more happy here at the station to go pick it up for you. That's a joke.
And you might even ride it to make sure it works.
Absolutely.
We have to test it out.
And we'll make sure that they get it back sometime next summer so they can use it in the summer, because we need to make sure we test ride it in the spring.
It was
works.
nice.
You are nothing if not generous with your time.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the most important part. Make sure you guys get a chance. Am I missing anything?
Anybody can go on the website. This will give you an idea. It shows our mission statement. It shows pictures from each year. The one thing that I want people to know is that your privacy, we do not release names. There's no pictures in there of clients that come in to shop.
Right.
The people that you see are only the people that are the volunteers. Never do we release anybody's name, and that's the reason we try to maintain at 7 people, is because that gives limited information as to who is using the toy store. It's really nobody's business but yours, that is your need. And so I want people to feel comfortable to come to us, to say we have a need, that we need gifts,
Yes.
and make sure that they are comfortable and know that their privacy is utmost in our minds, confidentiality, and in fact, we do not know their names. The thing I know is that this is Susan's S, and she has a boy that's 10 and a girl that's 9, and
No last names.
no last names. That's all I know, is I know her first name and an initial, and I know the age and sex of her children. Other than that, I don't need to know. I have no need to know their name.
Linda, anything you want to add?
Yes. I want everyone to know that cash jars, which are put out in different businesses, are going to come out November 6th. It's just a couple of days. And the boxes, we have decorated boxes for different businesses, and those are going to go out November 13th to put a brand new toy in. We'll be at beauty shops and restaurants and various places. You see our box. Feel free to put a brand new toy in there, age appropriate. We're always looking for older children toys because they're the hardest and most expensive. And if you have good ideas that you can afford, we would love those boxes to be filled this time of year. So we really appreciate that.
Can I throw out one more thing? If people do not feel that they have the ability to shop, or that, they have a couple of ways that they can also send a check to us. We have a post office box 733 in Ortonville.
We'll put that up as we speak, 733 Ortonville.
7:30.
And so they can send a check to us. They can do
Made out to the
Community Christmas Toy Store. They can do
Okay.
CCTS, that's
Okay.
fine. It probably is easier and shorter to
Right.
write.
Well, I want to make sure you get, they don't send St. Anne's, just send it to you guys.
They can
Right.
also donate on the website. They have, you can do a PayPal donation that would then come directly to us. And a third thing that people can do is if you're an Amazon user, which a lot of people, including myself, are Amazon users, if you go to smiles.amazon.com, there is, it says, do you want